Hey, I was wondering if you were gonna pick up. Took you long enough. What time is it? 10:16. That's late. That is late. I feel like maybe we should be winding down and starting to go to bed. And I know that if we don't do our skincare on FaceTime together, that you run the risk of not doing it, okay? I'm not gonna let you go to bed with makeup on, so why don't you just go to the bathroom and do your skincare with me? I was sweetie for that. He deserves a prison sentence. I would be naked. Somebody must be catfishing as me. You didn't even have to talk to me. I'll talk the whole time, okay? Just use me as your little source of entertainment. I'm just a voice in the background. I'm gonna talk and we're gonna get our little chores done, okay? Our end of day, wash it all off chores together. Shall we? Does that sound good? It has been a long day and bathroom lighting is really doing its bathroom lighting thing. And I am so ready to take my makeup off right now. So to help us do that, I did ask you guys over on Instagram to ask me all of your juiciest slumber party questions, because as we know, what happens at the slumber party stays at the slumber party. So let's go through some of those and I'll walk you through each step of my skincare routine. I feel like my skincare routine has kind of stayed exactly the same over the last couple of years. I don't often change anything about it, but you know, I've swapped some things out here and there. Not really. So first step, of course, is taking off all of my makeup. So to kick us off, the first product I always use, swear by, is the Pharmacy Green Clean Cleansing Balm. This is what I use to take off my makeup, my first cleanse of the night. I swear by it. There is just simply no better cleansing balm to me. First question is, how do I get the courage to ask someone to use toys in the bedroom? Prioritizing your pleasure is nothing to feel guilty about. Your partners should be excited to incorporate things that are gonna make your experience having sex even better. So before I even answer this, let me just tell you right now that if you're dating someone that feels emasculated by a vibrator, break up with them. That's your teammate, baby. That is not your competition. And if you think that it is, you are simply just not mature enough to date a woman like me. But I totally hear you, and that sometimes it can be intimidating to like initiate the use of toys in the bedroom. Honestly, I think sometimes it is way easier to bring it up before sex than after sex if it's something that you're struggling with. To be honest with you, I just whip it out. Because I don't need to ask permission to have an orgasm. That's just not my style. But if you're nervous about it, you could always bring it up before you're having sex. Just having a sexy conversation about sex. Let your partner know that you really love using toys with a partner and you'd love if they used it on you. But if you're trying to build up your confidence in the bedroom in general, I think a great place to start with that is on Beducated. I am a huge fan of Beducated. Obviously, I have been talking about them, working with them for years now. Beducated is an online sex education platform where they have tons of different video guides, how-tos, deep dives into so many of these like hot sex topics that everyone wants to know the answers to, but is a little bit too scared to ask about. Obviously, I am a huge supporter of accessible sex education. Always, but especially now in a time where so many sex education programs are being rolled back. And I think in general, shame is making a comeback in a big way, all right? And I think platforms like Beducated do such a good job of giving people the answers that they deserve in a really reliable setting. You know, sometimes those deep dives over on Reddit, you're not getting that info from like the world's most trusted sources. But on Beducated, you can be certain that you're getting reliable sex education from sex experts that want you to have a better, more fulfilled sex life. They have over 100 online courses that range from kink to self-pleasure, dirty talk, lap dances, oral sex, threesomes, whatever it is that you have questions about, Beducated has those answers for you. I personally consumed a bunch of the courses over on Beducated, and they really are such a nice confidence booster and just like a fun way to allow yourself to explore and indulge in a very low stakes, low pressure sort of environment. So if you're interested in trying out Beducated, you can use code Maddie for 50% off the yearly pass, which is 10% more than it usually is. And when you sign up, it comes with a 14-day money-back guarantee. So you can test it out for 14 days and see if it's a good fit for you. So again, that's code Maddie for 50% off the yearly pass over at Beducated. Try it out, So you feel like it could be a huge tool when it comes to spicing things up and building your confidence in the bedroom. All right, next up we're going face wash, and I use this glycerin cleanser from Prequel. Who was your first girl crush / how did you know you weren't straight? I mean, I feel like I always wondered when I was younger, but it was something that I could just sort of push to the back of my head a little bit because I knew that I was also attracted to men. So my attraction to women was one that I could just sort of push to a corner and be like, you know what? We'll get to that one later. Not because I didn't feel comfortable exploring it, but just because I was truly so confused and it overwhelmed me to think about. And this confusion really followed me all the way up until college. I think going to college and moving to New York just like allowed me to explore myself. You know, it's just the classic story, really. And the first time I ever talked to someone about my sexuality was my sophomore year of college. And I think what really brought about that, I don't know if I've ever told anyone this, to be honest. There was this girl at my college that I thought was super cute. I honestly didn't know her. I don't think that she was in my year, but I went to a small college. So I would see her every day in the library. I think we probably had classes at a similar time. So we had breaks at a similar time. I would see her in the library all the time and I thought that she was so cute. And one day she came up to me and she asked if I would take a survey for one of her classes. Assumably this was for a gender and sexuality class. And so of course I said, yes, I'd love to take your survey as a lover of surveys and a thinker that she was cute. So she gave me the survey, and one of the first questions on said survey was asking you to identify your sexuality. And I remember sitting there looking at those boxes for so fucking long because I had never said to anyone that I was bi before. So it felt like a lie to put bi because that was only something that I had ever thought inside my own brain. But for whatever reason, I didn't want to put straight because I knew that she was gonna see it. And so if she saw that I put straight, then any fantasy I had inside my head of us being cutie together was gone. And so this was a moment for me where I was like, wait a minute. You don't want to put straight because you don't want this attractive woman to think that you're straight because you think she's attractive, but you don't want to put bi because you've never talked about it with anyone before. So it kind of feels like a lie to say that you're bi, but you also don't want to be straight. Got it. I don't remember what I ended up putting, to be honest. It didn't matter because she and I literally never ended up talking again, I don't think. So I don't know, that was like a real moment of reckoning for me, realizing that I wanted to be perceived as queer to her because I thought she was so attractive, because I, you know, had a little crush on a distance from her, and that was really what started me talking to some of my close friends about it. But to be honest, I still didn't talk to most people about my sexuality until after college. It was like on a need to know basis for several years. But I even remember later on in sophomore year, probably in spring, there was me and a bunch of people that were in my acting class that were hanging out at my apartment. We watched Children of the Corn together. So there was a bunch of us hanging out at my apartment. We were all like snuggled up on my bed together. And one of them was like, so weird, Maddie. I like saw you on lesbian Tinder. And I was like, that's really weird. I don't know why you would see that. Somebody must be catfishing as me. And I was like, that's really weird. That's probably a system glitch or something. Like I was not about to be like, yeah, so that was for sure me. And I'm doing my thing and I'm figuring it out. But I just didn't want anyone to know about it. I like didn't want anyone to be privy to me in my discovery phase or me when I was confused. I didn't want anybody to know until I knew. And I think I did know, but I felt so guilty or like I wasn't queer enough. This is like the bisexual experience to a T, bitch. Like I just always felt like I needed to be doing more, or that there needed to be some marker of queerness that I hit before I could say that I was queer, that I liked women, that I was bisexual. All the bisexual fears you've ever thought of took me years to undo inside my brain. And even I feel like up until a couple of years ago, it was something that I was definitely working through. I read Greedy by Jen Winston, probably in like 2021, I think, fall 2021. It is a really awesome book about Jen Winston's experience being bisexual. and it was one that really, really resonated with me. So I think getting to hear about other people's experiences with their own bisexuality really helped me finally be able to like verbalize mine in a more public way. Obviously all my friends had known for a while by 2021, but yeah, I don't know, here we are. Next up, we're gonna go in with a toner. This is the Rose Water Toner from Coco Kind. This really is just like a spritz or two, but I'm still gonna answer an entire new question in the course of this little tiny action. What does it mean when a man goes all day without talking to you? What does it mean when a man goes all day without talking to you? It means he went all day without talking to you. I don't believe in trying to extract extra meaning where there is none. If you are dating someone and you want to talk to them, text them. Do not sit at home and wait all day and make yourself miserable. Like, is he gonna text me? Is he gonna text me? Oh my God, why hasn't he texted me? Like, is he not thinking about me as much as I'm thinking about? Shh. Silence. If you want to talk to someone, you should reach out to them. And if you're finding that this relationship is not reciprocal enough and you're putting an effort that they also aren't, then you learn something about the compatibility of you and this other person. Instead of giving them all the power and being like, oh, he hasn't reached out to me and that makes me feel super dysregulated and there must be some deeper reason for why he hasn't reached out to me and there must be something wrong with me. And that's why he hasn't reached out to me. Or perhaps we're giving him way too much fucking credit and power. Assumably, you want someone who is a good communicator, who won't make you feel so dysregulated and like you are begging for their attention. So perhaps you don't really like him. Like perhaps he's not a good match for you. Or also, it's possible that you guys are a great match and you just need to be a little bit more patient and have a little bit more acknowledgement for like the humanness of the situation. Like we each have totally separate individual lives and like people be doing shit during the day, right? Like texting is just texting. I don't think that we should be like studying and looking into it hardcore. We can learn about ourselves and our needs through texting, but ultimately, if you're sitting at home, like, when is he gonna do this? When is he gonna do that? And never taking action, I think you should take action. And if you feel like you're always the one that's taking action and they are never taking action, maybe you just don't fucking like them. Or maybe we just need to be a little bit more patient, be a little bit more grounded, and let ourselves sort of enjoy the ride of getting to know someone and seeing if they're the right fit for us. There's a range of explanations for these things, some of which mean absolutely nothing at all. And regardless, if it really did mean something deeper, you don't want to be with someone who's a shitty communicator. All right, next up I go in with my I'm trying to cover my prescription information. How to realign expectations in relationships, mainly friendships, without losing them. Here's the thing. If you're gonna lose a friendship because you set a boundary, I don't think there is like a more perfect way that you can say things. I think if you set boundaries and you're kind in your delivery, you are kind and compassionate in your delivery of those boundaries, that is quite literally all you can do on your end. How someone else reacts to those boundaries is like not your responsibility to cater to. Setting boundaries, realigning on expectations, these are good things, right? If you are being kind and compassionate to the people around you, then that should go fine. And it should never result in you losing the friendship. If someone is unwilling to hear you and your perspective, if your friend has a nasty reaction to you setting a boundary with them, then that tells you all you need to know. But I think so often we will like kill ourselves to try to deliver something in the most perfect way. I know I am so guilty of this. I am so guilty of like massaging my delivery of things, going over it in my head 100 times, trying to craft like the perfect, most non-offensive way to set my boundaries. And something that I've learned through the process of doing that is it often doesn't make a single fucking difference. Because the people that were gonna hear my boundaries and be able to receive them and accept them, we're gonna do that regardless of how exactly I said it, because I know that I would say it in a kind way no matter what. And the people that aren't gonna be able to receive those weren't gonna be able to receive them no matter how nicely I put it. I think all you can do is be kind, compassionate, and honest, and hope that your friend meets you with that same exact energy. But if they don't, understand that like their reaction was not yours to manicure in the first place. Next up, besides my tretinoin, I only use one serum. This is the super saturated serum from Experiment. This is the best, most hydrating serum in all the land. If you wanted a serum recommendation from me, it's gonna be this every goddamn time. No exceptions, no other serums needed. I've tried other serums, they don't compare to this one. This is the best serum. All other serums can fucking pack it up. What is the most regrettable thing you've done for a man? I'm gonna give you what is maybe a disappointing answer. And it is that I don't regret anything I've done for a man. Now, that's not to say I haven't, you know, given men who are undeserving of my love a whole lot of it, you know? I have absolutely gone the distance for people that did not care if I lived or died. But the thing about that is that I will never regret the times that I spent being lovely to someone else. The times that I spent being cutie and sweetie and crushing and just being a fucking darling, okay? I'm not gonna regret that. Even when they didn't deserve it, I'm not gonna regret that. The regrettable thing was being fucking mean to me. The regrettable thing was lying to me. The regrettable thing was not communicating with me. The regrettable thing was disrespecting me. The regrettable thing was not me being a lover and a sweetheart, because that is my joy. That is what I get to move through the world, go into all of my dating relationships with, knowing that this is the kind of person I am, the kind of heart that I have. I get to experience the joy of living in my body with my brain every fucking day. I will not let people who have disrespected me in the past take away that joy from me. So no, I don't regret any times that I have loved people that didn't deserve it or loved people that didn't love me back in the way that I deserved. I will never regret any of that. Because I feel like to frame it as being something regrettable almost means that it's supposed to be embarrassing to me. Like I'm supposed to be embarrassed or ashamed of the times that I loved super hard, even when it wasn't reciprocated or they were really fucking mean to me. But that's not a burden that I'm willing to carry. I shouldn't be embarrassed for those things, they should. So I don't regret anything because I think that it is how I felt and that's truthful to me, and it was nice and it was sweet, and I moved in ways that I was proud of. The people who should have regret are the people who stomped all over that sweetness and kindness for no fucking reason. So I do not regret a damn thing. Not even the time I traveled to New York for a man who then ghosted me. I left, he said, please come back. So I did, and he ghosted me again. Not even that. You dumb motherfucker. Him, not me. I was sweetie for that. He deserves a prison sentence. All right, moisturizer. It's the winter, so I'm going in with something super thick. This is the Ultra Repair Cream from First Aid Beauty. She's thick as hell. Do you have any astrological signs you won't date / don't get along with in general? No, there's no astrological sign that I wouldn't date. However, if you're asking me if there have been in the past, you know, some astrological signs that I was not the most fond of. And it's not to say everyone, there have been exceptions to the rule. However, Geminis, I hate to say this, but it's been a tough go. And listen, there are some Geminis that I love. There are Geminis in my life who I love with all my heart. And I've come across quite a few Geminis that we just didn't gel. We weren't totally meshed together. That's probably the most common sign that I have not been able to gel with is Geminis. But really I do get along with most signs. Geminis are the only one where it feels like there's a pattern of there just not being harmony. All right, before I do my lip balm, I'm going to brush my teeth and do a little mouthwash. I guess I won't really be able to talk while I do that. I hadn't considered that part. Next, I'm going in with the Laneige lip mask, and I'm gonna do the Buffer Jelly Facial Oil to top off everything beautiful and gorgeous that I've done today. Thoughts on men throwing tantrums when you won't sleep with them? Yeah, that really is something, isn't it? Really, it's just like good that they show you who they are right up front. I'll give them that. It is deeply disturbing. Silver lining there is just that they make it abundantly obvious that you need to run the fuck away from them. One time I went to this like dating event in the city, which you would assume that if you're going to a dating event, it means you want to date, right? Is that crazy for me to assume? Like, if you just want to fuck things, if you just want to put your dick in a hole, number one, there's so many ways you can do that at home without terrorizing women. And number two, like, are dating apps just not, or were you not having luck on the fucking apps? You had to go terrorize women at an in-person dating event? There are plenty of people on dating apps that are looking to just fuck. Famously, that's why people have started dating in person again. To get away from that. Why the fuck are you here? I was at an event like that and there was this guy who asked me to get drinks afterwards, and I didn't really have a connection with him during the event, but I was trying to be open-minded about everything and just like, okay, yeah, sure, I'll get drinks with you after this. And he started getting a little too confident with me, and throughout the night was just getting maybe a little too flirty with me. But I was still willing to give him the benefit of the doubt. I was like, maybe he's had too much to drink. He's just sort of, you know, not really understanding personal space. But then when I told him that I wasn't gonna sleep with him, he goes, oh, all right, and fucking leaves the bar. A little fucking weird that you spent all night trying to tee that up when you could have absolutely just found someone on Tinder who was looking for the same thing that you are in a matter of 15 seconds. So it just seemed like a really ineffective use of time on his part to go to an in-person dating event where people are assumably not looking to just have sex with you. So you know what? I had a little giggle about it, and then I was like, at least I know. And you know, I felt good because I put myself out there and I was open-minded about doing something new, even if that was a really strange interaction that I will literally never forget. I mean, really, I think that any man that throws a tantrum because you won't sleep with him, or who spends an entire night literally priming you to sleep with him, and then the second that you say you don't want to do that, he treats you like you're not even a living, breathing human being anymore. Like, those are shitty experiences, but ultimately, what a huge relief to learn about it in such a blatantly obvious way. Those men are demons. They need to be exorcised. And guess what, babe? It's not your job to exorcise them. Last but certainly not least, I'm throwing on a little bit of a Mighty Patch moment. Few spots here and there that need a little something. And then we're gonna call it a night. How do I become confident wearing no bra as a big-chested girl? Honestly, get a really cute tank top. This like spaghetti strap tank top was the tank top that I wore all the time when I first started going braless, and I just loved it. I loved how my boobs looked in this little spaghetti strap tank top, because most of the time you don't want to wear a bra with those tops anyways because of the straps. So I feel like when I had a couple of tops in my arsenal that I just loved wearing no bra with, it became a lot easier to, like, I don't know, slowly start to incorporate into more of my outfits. And then I think over time, it just, you realize that the bras in most of your outfits are really not doing much. It's just you're uncomfortable for no fucking reason. Half the time I feel like it looks better without a bra. I don't know. Now I only wear a bra if I like fucking have to, if the outfit requires it. Like I wore this outfit a couple nights ago, and I have to wear a bra with this because the lingerie top is really see-through, and also if I wore it, I would be naked. So I wore a bra with it, and it looked like this, and it looked awesome. So for me, bras are more of a utility thing, where it's like, if I need to wear them, I will, but if I don't need to wear them, I won't. And I feel like if you experiment with different outfits without a bra and how they actually don't look that much different without a bra, I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. But start with a few good tank tops, because I think a few good tank tops can really change the game and really help build your confidence, because I just feel like tank tops always look better braless. A tank top never looks better with a bra. 100%, no exceptions. Tank tops, always braless. That's my take. All right, that's it. Is your skincare routine done? Have you finished it up? I hope that you did, because I've been talking for a long time and it would be crazy if you were still doing it. How long did your skincare routine take you? No wonder you don't want to do it. If you missed it, I recently made a Patreon where I've been posting a bunch of extra content, extended podcast episodes, extra videos here and there, and there is a Lover Girls group chat over there in case you want to join a Discord server full of a bunch of like-minded lover girls. And if you're craving more of me throughout your week, I do have a podcast, Emotionally Online, that goes live every single Thursday. So I hope to see you over there, over on the podcast or the Patreon, but if not, I will see you in my next video.